Yes, Tom, you're saying, and you said even the show, and you've repeated this, that, people that vote against their economic self-interests are not really intelligent voters in a lot of ways, and I certainly agree. Now, I'm middle class, and I support things that are good for me economically, and I oppose things that aren't good for me. And this is why I would absolutely oppose a universal basic income for those on the bottom 20% of this country, because if you pay them thousands of dollars in cash that they wouldn't normally see, this is definitely going to increase demand, and that's going to increase our already high inflation for the middle class. And that's unacceptable in itself if the middle class doesn't get anything commensurate. And no matter how you pay for this, the middle class will be harmed, because if you say you're going to just tax the corporations or unearned income, that's really going to hurt middle-class retirement benefits. So I'm taking your advice, Tom, and voting for my economic self-interest, or supporting things that help my interest and opposing them that don't. And for that reason, I would say most middle-class people would be, totally against an unrestricted cash universal income, because it would definitely hurt us.
So, number one, the alternative would be to raise the minimum wage and let people unionize. That would cover about half of it, because a lot of these people are the working poor, and expand welfare programs. But I disagree with your premise, Tom. You're right that if we passed out cash to a bunch of people in the bottom 20%, that it would stimulate the economy. But economic stimulus doesn't have to produce inflation. Inflation is the result of too much demand chasing too few goods. But we've got our economy back together again. We're manufacturing again in this country. There's plenty of goods and there's plenty of services. I don't think it would work that way.
I think you're absolutely wrong, Tom. First of all, inflation is still too high. We don't have our economy 100% back together.
No, but we're getting there. And inflation's around 3%. And 3% was considered a good number by Alan Greenspan. I mean, that's what he was trying to keep it to during
2%'s optimum.
Well, maybe.
2%'s optimum.
I think 2% is frankly too low.
And this is increase on a huge increase that we've seen what happens before when you had and it can't not help but hurt the middle class, Tom.
Yeah, no, that's wrong, Tom. It would help the middle class because you're not going to have homeless people. You're not going to have people falling into addiction. You're not going to have people falling into desperate circumstances because of their poverty. You're going to increase, essentially, the middle class, the lower middle class. And that's a good thing for everybody. You're going to see less crime. No, this is what the studies show. When you look at what has happened, these people, people who get this kind of aid, by and large, start getting housing, start getting jobs, go back to school, start putting their lives together. That benefits all of us, Tom. It benefits absolutely all of us.
It hurts the middle class, Tom.
No, you're wrong. And that's that.